Hi guys, hope you're having an awesome evening. Kerry's from Fit of Food here, and hopefully some of you are hanging around because we are going to be chatting about getting your nutrition and training game back on. So I don't like to say summer has ended. I think that's really kind of doom and gloom, but the kind of summer holidays at least have come to an end. A lot of people we work with are busy mums, so there's been summer holidays going out with the kids, but also even for Matt and I, the summer has been about weddings and festivals and big weekends away, holidays and stuff. So our nutrition and training has kind of been just a little bit irregular, not as consistent as we usually are. We've kind of done our best, we always do, to eat well when we travel and keep our training up. But lots of people have got in touch with us and said, how do you get back on it? So now the kind of, the summer is kind of coming to a close. So hopefully everyone's kind of looking to be a bit more consistent, getting ready for Christmas when we do it all again, basically. What can you do? So tonight I'm just going to talk about some really simple steps. It's basically what Matt and I will tend to do when we kind of land home on a Sunday night after a weekend away, and we're like, right, okay, we need to just kind of get on it next week, back to normal business. But we do some key things because we need to be accountable at times. We can't be trusted. Matt has just actually put away a big bag of peanut M&Ms that he found in the cupboard. He was about to finish them and just kind of get rid of them. But yeah, so occasionally we need to kind of rein stuff in and say, actually no, we've got into these habits, we're getting a bit complacent with our nutrition, so what do we do? So that's what I'm going to be talking to you guys about this evening. I'm just going to put it in really, really simple steps. But the first thing that I did want to say is, if you do really struggle with accountability, and sometimes people write to us and they're really kind of all over the shop, really out of control, don't know where to start, then just kind of get in touch with us, because we have options. We've got a membership site where we have meal plans, and we're in there every day kind of motivating people, coaching you on what are the best decisions for you, what training to do, what foods to eat. Or we've got Fit at 16 if you really want something kind of a little bit more intensive, a little bit more focused, personalised towards you, that's going to keep you on track for 16 weeks, and then from that point onwards, you've kind of got a really good foundation, you've got the tools and the knowledge and the skills to do all this yourself. But in terms of where you are right now, a couple of things that I'm going to suggest. So first of all is that basically you go home and you need to fill the cupboards with fitter food, really healthy stuff, and if necessary, have a little bit of a detox. So if you've been kind of buying stuff that you know is going to lead, you've basically got kind of no control over. If you've got it in the cupboards, you're going home at night, you're tired, you're hungry, you're just going to kind of grab that stuff, then get rid of it or give it to a neighbour or a friend. So that's kind of step one. And with regards to just filling up the cupboards, do an online shop. So this is something that Matt and I do. As soon as we land home on a kind of after a weekend away, we do an online shop and plan to have it delivered as soon as we get home. So we're kind of accountable to this massive amount of veg and really good food that's just landed. We know our recipes that we love, but having that food there, we hate waste. So we know we're going to get on it with our food prep. Even if we're short on time, we'll just be making up quick salads, coleslaw, ratatouille, whatever we can, because the food is there and we don't want to waste it. So do that. That's just a way of keeping you accountable. Also, increase your proteins and fats. You probably hear this all the time, but things like late nights, drinking, excess sugar are just going to derail your blood sugar levels. And what happens is we get this kind of surge in the brain because it experiences a high from all the sugar and the exciting stuff that we've done. And then your brain kind of anticipates having that again, and it kind of wants you to go out and find that again. It's kind of the neurotransmitter we're talking about here is dopamine, and it surges when we know we're going to get a reward. So to try and get our dopamine levels kind of recalibrated a little bit, it really helps to increase the protein, especially at breakfast. So plan a really high protein breakfast. If you love porridge, just start to add something like a really good quality protein powder, or have a couple of boiled eggs, or stir some eggs into it. Also things like an omelette is an obvious choice, smoked salmon, avocado. Again, Fit Food, we've got loads of ideas on our website, you can hit that up. But increase that protein, bring it up to the point of, you've had that meal, you feel really satisfied, you feel really full. And then across the day, you want protein at every single meal, and the healthy fats, so things like olive oil, avocados, oily fish, are just going to help to stabilise those blood sugar levels. And initially, what you might want to do is not kind of set yourself kind of too much restriction. Just say you can eat as much of the kind of fitter food types of food as you want to, just for the first few days, because maybe you'll have those kind of cravings still, maybe your hunger levels won't have kind of balanced out. So as long as you're reaching for things like chicken, fish, eggs, cottage cheese, you know, those kind of high protein foods with a bit of fat in. Just have as many as you like, but gradually what you want to start doing is then getting back to those 3 meals a day and cutting out kind of snacking and grazing and liquid calories in between where possible. Again, it's just going to help with blood sugar levels, going to get you feeling nice and stable. Another thing on the accountability side is if you can't be trusted to do your exercise, if you're not a natural exerciser, if you don't love it, then again, book something in, pay for it, make yourself accountable to going and doing that exercise. So either book and pay for a class online, book a session with a personal trainer, maybe volunteer or offer to walk a neighbour's dog, and maybe even ask to be paid for that, so that you've got to get out, you've got to go and do it, be that the walk, be that the gym session or the spin class, whatever it might be. And again, do that at the beginning of the week. So you've got the healthy shopping, you have to do your food prep, you have to eat that food, and then you have to book in the exercise sessions so you know you'll stay committed to them. And I often do this just because even work for me gets in the way, so I need to be able to kind of take that time out, make sure I do it. So sometimes I'll pay for that class in advance to make sure that I'll take that break and do it. So there's just a couple of things. I did have some more. I'm just going to quickly have a look at some comments. Was there a comment there? I'm not being rude. I can never read the comments on the phone without leaning right in and allowing you to see right up my nose. No, I think we're okay. Bear with me a second. Okay, so next up is sleep. So again, when you're kind of just coming off the back of a holiday, or again, a kind of late nights and your sleep routine's a little bit off whack, then again, make that a priority, sleep, because sleep really affects blood sugar levels, it affects everything from your body composition to your willpower to your mood across the day. So start to look at whether you could kind of rein in some of the socializing now, whether you could just kind of, if you are going to the gym, try and do it in your lunch hour, try and do it before work, or again, same thing for going for a walk, try and do it in the day so that your evenings are free to kind of do a bit of food prep, eat a good meal, and then just get ready for bed. And start that sleep routine, so taking some magnesium at night, maybe doing some kind of creative hobby like colouring or a jigsaw to kind of switch off and escape your kind of work stresses, and try and find a way that you just basically relax in the 2 hours before bed. I'm loving reading at the moment, and it's taken me, no lie, because I've done quite a few diplomas and degrees and done a lot of reading for those, I kind of lost my love of reading for pleasure. So I've kind of almost forced myself to do it again. I got some bestsellers and some recommendations from people who've loved certain books, and I just got myself reading a couple of pages a night, and now I'm kind of up to 3 or 4 books in, and it's become this thing that I look forward to in the day because it's my escape. So I'm actually kind of trying to match Hamish. Hamish goes to bed at about 8:30, so where possible he's my cue to kind of head up the stairs if I can and basically have an early night and start to just read for that last hour in bed. And it really does mean that the quality of my sleep is different to if I'm kind of on my phone, on my laptop, doing emails. Even kind of watching TV kind of can stimulate you a little bit too much. So think about what you do in those last hours before bed, but make sleep the priority over these next few weeks, because it's going to affect the decisions that you make the next day. Speaking of decisions, so another thing that you have to do if you really are committed to getting fit, getting healthy and sustaining the kind of changes or the habits that you're creating here, is you have to make less decisions across the day. I'm terrible at making decisions, and I don't like having too much choice. So when we haven't done our food prep and I'm kind of out for the day, I can drive Matt absolutely bonkers, because every place we go into I kind of like, oh, I don't like that, I'm not really sure about that, or that portion's not big enough. I do generally say that. So I tend to, if I can, prepare loads of stuff in advance. So that might be that you get out and you write yourself, get out a meal plan and write yourself a plan for the week. Make sure you kind of know what you're having, and then you just don't have to think about it, because the more thinking you do, the more decisions you have to make, the more you kind of exhaust the brain. And when we're tired, we then need to turn to things for energy, and you guys know what we turn to. It's things like sugar, it's caffeine, or we tend to even exercise. We over-exercise because we're knackered and we need something to lift us up. So you need to be able to make less decisions, and you do that by planning ahead, getting organised. So just even your breakfast, know that Monday is a smoothie, Tuesday is protein porridge, Wednesday is avocado and salmon. It's all in the fridge ready, you can grab and go, but you've kind of thought about it, so you haven't got to spend every morning going, do I want carbs this morning or not, It's all this dialogue, and the dialogue is exhausting after a while. So simplify the process and make sure that you kind of have a plan in place. So again, we've got tons of meal plans in our membership site. You can jump on there or just kind of lay out the week and make sure you think ahead. Next up is visual cues. This is really, really powerful for me. And I've been doing this I think now for about 10 years. My gym kit is always out the night before, and it's laid out at the end of my bed, right down to pants, socks, bra, everything. So again, I don't have to make decisions in the morning about whether I'm going to what am I going to do? Is it yoga? Is it gym? What am I going to wear? Da, da, da. The only thing I have to decide in the morning is basically, do I need a raincoat or not? And that's it, depending on the weather. But everything is laid out at the end of my bed. And similarly, if I know I'm going to be kind of up early because I'm out into London or somewhere else, I'll have packed everything the night before, including the gym gear, the yoga gear, whatever it might be. So the kind of decision is there and it's made for me. But those visual cues, so when I wake up and I see my trainers and my gym gear, I think, yeah, even if it's just a walk, I know that's what I'm wearing today. I have no excuse. I'm going to go out and do some activity. Similarly, if I've got my gym kit with me and I'm out in London, I have no excuse. I see it and I kind of am reminded, I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to do this. So having those visual cues is really helpful. Even having, a dozen eggs boiled in your fridge, every time you open that fridge, you might be thinking, what can I have? But you see the boiled eggs and think, actually, I'll have one of those first. Think about that goal, think about where you're going with this, think about everything kind of like the impact that food has on your mindset, your health, your well-being, and you'll make the right choice if you can see the right food. So just think about those visual cues if you can. I've just noticed that Matt's joined, which probably means he's sat on the doorstep, bless him, because he's headed out with the dog and doesn't want to disturb me. So there's just a few things, guys. So if we just start from the top, I'm going to round them all up. You can post the questions if you have any or comments, but number one was basically kind of get organised at home, detox your cupboards if you need to from kind of foods that tempt you, and fill those cupboards. Do that online shop, fill the cupboards with healthy stuff, and keep yourself accountable to that healthy food shop. Plan ahead with your meals. Just write down the next 7 days so you know what you're doing. You haven't got to think about it and haven't got to make a trillion decisions. Have some visual cues. Get your gym kit washed and ready and have it out at the night before. Have it at the end of the bed. Make sure you know what you're going to do in the morning because you've booked it, you've planned it, you've paid for it. There's no getting out of it. Because at this point in time, it's not quite a habit. It's not part of your routine. So we need to stay accountable where possible. Increase your fats and proteins, as I said before, really easy to do. Protein at every single meal. If you end up having, peanut M&Ms, so be it, but make sure you got that healthy meal in first, and gradually, as blood sugars balance out, you'll be able to go, do you know what, I don't need the peanut M&Ms. But first and foremost, grab the healthy food. The protein and fats are going to help you feel full and sustained for longer initially. And prioritise your sleep. So again, this week is just all about early nights. Luckily it's getting darker, I don't know about you guys, but that kind of eases off the pressure for me. I kind of want to stay in and I want to go to bed. So the darker nights are here, so make the most of them, get cozy, follow that Scandinavian thing. I can never say it, whether it's hygge or hage, whatever it is. Start to make your lounge in your bedroom lovely and cozy, a nice place to be at night. Get a good book or jigsaw puzzle, whatever it might be, and settle in and just get into that routine again. And before you know it, this is all going to become second nature, nice and easy. So guys, post any questions if you have any. I'm just going to have a quick look. I don't think we have any questions, but if you do have any, or of course, you can always just message us privately on the Facebook page. If you are struggling, just let us know, and again, we can fire back some tips to you and help you in kind of where you are right now, what barriers you've got in place. But hopefully some of that stuff is really useful, and have an awesome evening and good luck getting back on it. See ya!